Yeah, Philly! Wake up, crank it loud, and get ready for the real morning sports show! From South Philly to Broad Street, from the Link to Citizens Bank Park, this is where Philly fans come to ride! Coffee's hot, takes are hotter. Birds talk got the whole city bothered. Phillies bats and Flyers fights. Sixers drama every single night. Breaking news, hot debates, no sugarcoating on the station. Made blue collar city loud and proud. Turn it up and scream it now. Every morning, every play, Philly passion leads the way. Philly AM, turn it on and raise the sound. Philly AM, the loudest sports show in town. Green and red, orange and blue, Philly sports runs through and through. It's a rap sports network. We bring the fire to you.
Well, if that doesn't wake you up on a Sunday morning, Mike Laro, I don't know what will. Matty B digging deep into those pockets and getting some real intro music here for you and me and for everybody this damp, wet, dreary Sunday morning. What a better place to be right now with a hot cup of coffee, maybe some eggs, a little bacon, and the It's a Rap Sports Network with Mike Laro and Al Zafiri here, bringing you Philly AM sports. And also a Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for all those past, present, and future who have served, who are serving, and who may serve, and also give the ultimate sacrifice. God bless you. Thank you for everything, especially even our guy. We gotta give him love when love is due. Matty B.
Yeah. You got to give them something. So, good morning to you, Al. Happy to all our veterans out there. Remember, guys, before you crack open a beer, fry a dog, eat a burger,
A
make
hot
sure you-
dog. Don't
hot dog. Yeah, hot
don't
dog.
fight your dog. That would be weird.
Yeah. Make sure you take a moment just to say a little prayer for our armed men and women who can't be home to do so, and remember the ones who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to do what we do. So to all our servicemen, and that includes our own Matty B, thank you very, very much from the bottom of this guy's heart. So without you guys, that wouldn't be possible. So I always do that every year. Especially around the main holidays, because our great service people can't come home and be home. So Al, definitely. Yeah, I like the fact that Matty kind of upped the budget there a little bit. I was sick last week, man. I've been dealing with a nasty case of bronchitis. So I was literally in between his Al Excuse Emporium song that he debuted the other night.
Yeah, it wasn't a song. It was like legitimate, like 3 minutes long. I'm like, dude, what are you?
Yes, and
You guys are telling me it's an homage. Yes, it breaks my.
yes. Don't feel bad. Listen, he broke it out on me on the Clear the Ice on the Clear the Ice show.
Mike one, did I miss that one?
No, you don't have a mic one. He broke out yours because I had said something. And he said it sounded like an excuse. It was a perfect timing. So he broke out your song. He has upgraded this song. Believe it or not, he just sent me over two for Prop Stocks and Parlays coming up, and also the Happy Valley Huddle. So both of them will have new intros. Both love both songs. So yeah, he's kind of stepping the budget up here. Is Matty? You got to give the devil his due. Now I'm gonna kind of keep it down so he doesn't roll over out of his coffin. But
oh God, yeah, no. From the bottom of our hearts to the bottomless heart that he has. No, we can't have that. We just can't.
But I will say this. Going over the Flyers season, I found out that me and Matty actually had more in common about the state of the Flyers than I thought we would have. The only thing was he kind of fought back against me with the whole. I think they should go out and get Tarasenko. I've been calling for Tarasenko for 2 years. I think he could come in and help out Matvey Michkov. So let's kind of jump into the Flyers real quick if you want to do that.
Sure.
Let's jump into them because I've seen some really, really good trade targets for the Flyers and free agency. Free agency wise, the NHL really, with them kind of bumping up the salary cap in November, kind of took some key free agents off the market, which was really weird timing for the NHL. Like, I don't understand that. Like, they rose their salary cap in like November. So guys like Jack Eichel and Panarin were all able to re-sign with their teams. So they're not going to be available free agents, but there are some really, really good centermen that I feel like the Flyers could go after.
Well, trade options.
Trade options.
Matty said it, and he's not wrong. The trade. How do we put this? The open market this year, the free agent market is going to be very thin.
Thin pickings. It is. But do I think they can make a move and get somebody that's really good? The problem is we're going to be getting guys that need upside. You know what I mean? That have tremendous upside that are either coming off an injury or coming off a down year. You get guys like Mason McTavish out of Anaheim. That guy needs to change the scenery. I like him. He's only 23. He does play. He's a centerman. Okay. You also have Leo Carlson that's out there, or John.
Carlson's been a name that's been popping up on a lot of sheets.
Yes, and another name to keep look at too is Vancouver's Elias Pettersson.
Okay, I have another one. I have Nico Heischer. I don't know if you say it, his name, and Vincent Trocheck. I mean, those are a couple names.
Yes, I've been looking. I brought that up. I brought that up to Maddie the other night, especially with Trocheck. You're doing something really good. You are weakening the Rangers and boosting yourself up, bringing Trocheck here. But I do. I feel like the Flyers, they have the money to spend. All these negative contracts are now off the books.
I think we're not paying Brizgalov anymore.
Yeah, right.
The sun and the earth has aligned, and now the moon and the stars mean we don't have to pay that knucklehead anymore.
You ain't got to pay Brizgalov. You ain't got to pay Ryan Ellis, which was the biggest.
Kevin Hayes, I believe, was off that too.
Believe it or not, he's a free agent. And somebody actually mentioned it. It says one of the articles I was reading, it says, don't be surprised if there is a Kevin Hayes Flyer reunion, because he kind of fell out of favor in Pittsburgh. He was scratched the whole series out there. So, I mean, I don't know.
You're going to take a guy on that was – now, I know his biggest problems were with the coach.
Yeah, he was with Tortorella,
who is now in the East or the Western Conference final,
Listen, I'm not trying to buy that BS because he took over the team right before they went into the playoffs.
But you got him and Carter Hart.
Well,
if they win this, it'll be like, oh, hello.
And listen, they're up 2-0 on Colorado. Like, that's shocking to me. And I'm going to be honest with you, the NHL really screwed the Flyers over. As a matter of fact, they screwed over every team that had guys that were on that team.
Be careful. Certain music might start playing soon, so you better be careful.
Well,
you might get that coffin to open up a little bit by saying this.
But they did. Like, I'm sorry. They should have been able to hold on to their rights. The NHL stepped in and said, hey, don't extend these guys because we don't know what's going to happen with their future. And now basically Carter Hart gets to walk away and go pick who he plays for, and it leaves the Flyers sitting there. And meanwhile, the Flyers got caught in something that they should have never really – I mean, just because he played for the team here, like the Flyers got drug in the mud with the whole Carter Hart thing. If you really look at it.
I will agree with you. That situation, because of what the implications were, they had to do what they had to do. And then
I'm not. Okay.
Honestly, there should have been some compensation picks.
Right.
Nothing crazy.
There should have been a compensatory pick for that. I mean, that's BS. Like, this guy, gets caught up in some off the ice stuff. Okay, however it goes
It's a
down.
thing that the team had to do because the
Right.
NHL did the same thing. The NHL did the same thing. They kind of cut bait on him until everything got cleared.
Right.
And now that it's cleared, you can come back and play and with us. But the other people sitting there with their hands and they're going, it's the Flyers. Like, really? Like, so he can come back and play. Like you said, pick a team whoever he wants to play for. But we're sitting there going, we get nothing.
Right, exactly, and that's the NHL screwing the Flyers. Like, to be honest with you, I'm really sick of the NHL. Like, they screw the Flyers over every chance they get. Every chance they get. I'm sorry, I feel like Philadelphia's a bigger market, a bigger hockey market than Pittsburgh. How many times have you seen the Flyers get the number 1 pick?
Never.
But yeah, Pittsburgh can get it 3 out of 4 years. Get the hell out of here. Like, that team should be playing in Kansas City right now. Like, in all seriousness.
Here's the one thing I'm gonna say about the NHL as an organization for a gritty, blue collar type of player that hockey players tend to be. The NHL itself holds it as kind of a hoity, royalty standard in a sense. Like, we have, and the Flyers have always kind of been the bad boys of hockey since the 70s. I mean, they changed the rule book big time because of Flyers hockey, 70s into the 80s, because of how we're fighting and all that kind of stuff changed a lot. If you ever get a chance, HBO years ago put the Broad Street Bullies special out.
I've seen it. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what? They're 1,000% right. The only time the NHL ever did anything for the Flyers is when they were ready to play the Russians. And the Russians were going around embarrassing everybody. They were embarrassing every team. They embarrassed Boston. They embarrassed New York until they came to play the Flyers, and the Flyers kicked the Russians.
We were the ugly. Listen, we were that douchey friend that they didn't want to deal with until we were useful.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
And I'm going
to try putting the dog back in the cage after it was all said and done.
Exactly. And you know what? And you know what else was BS about that too? If the Flyers wouldn't have been defending Stanley Cup champions, they probably wouldn't have played the Russians. Think about that for a second. Because they did I think a 5-game tour, and they smoked everybody they played.
Yeah.
And the last game they were going to play was the Stanley Cup champions, which was the Flyers. So think about that for a second. If the Flyers don't win that cup, right, they don't play the Russians. They don't play them. And that means the Russians basically come in and they say, your version of North American hockey stinks because we just wiped out every one of your teams. So, the Flyers did, just for that alone, the NHL should owe them big time. I'm talking about because they saved their game, okay? They literally showed on a worldwide stage that North American hockey can play with, European-style hockey. And that our hockey can be more dominant. Now, granted,
that doesn't show you how people or organizations, I guess, hold grudges for a very long time. Rob saying NHL is all about the money. Well, yeah, I mean, Rob,
that's every league. That's every league.
The NFL is, the NBA is, the MLB is. I mean, it's a business in the long run.
Oh, in today's hat, because I'm going to be doing this now. I'm going to be sporting all my different new hats. This is my new white Eagles throwback.
My hat's ready.
Yeah, man, get them ready.
I have one like that. Is that a cream-colored one?
No, this is all white, baby. All white with the white bird, and it's a 3D bird. So,
is it the rubber? Is it like a rubber bird? Yeah, those are nice. That's the new thing now.
And
anyway, I like them as a guy who washes his hats a lot. Like I do. I have my hat cleaner. And that's actually really nice from that standpoint, because if you get any embroidered stuff, let me flip this around. If you get any embroidered stuff, if you get that dirty somehow, maybe you touch it or something wrong and you get dirt on it, it's not easy to clean without messing up the stitching.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think every week I'm going to try to debut a hat that I have.
I have 70 hats we can debut.
Yes,
and I might,
exactly.
And maybe to steal something off Matty B a little bit, I will pull out. I have boxes of playoff hats, mainly Phillies and Eagles, of course.
Now, see, I don't have none of that, man. I don't. To me, I'm sorry, but I'm not spending $80 for a hat.
So here's a little trick.
I know you told me the trick.
Yeah, you always, for those who are listening, here's your trick. Just wait. If they go through the playoffs and good or bad or indifferent, win the Super Bowl, win the World Series, or they don't, wait in 3 to 6 months or whatever, and those hats are $10.
Listen, I want to go to the last preseason game this year for the Birds because they play Cincinnati. So I want to go. So I'm thinking about getting tickets for that game just to go. But the main reason why I'm going is because they have all last year's hats that are going to be like 10, 15 bucks.
Yep.
So that's the only reason. Like when they won every year when they won the Super Bowl, I've either went to the practice, the following year and got everything, or I went, the last preseason game and then just went into the store and bought all of the all the old hats from the year before. So I do have like a Super Bowl hat and stuff like that, but I don't get them when they first came out because I'm not dropping like when when the Eagles won the Super Bowl across the street from me, where I'm at on McDade, across the street from me, they were selling them $80 a piece. I'm not spending $80 for a hat.
And I wouldn't either. Like
Good morning,
I said,
Dave.
I get the official hats. You can still go buy Super Bowl, not the last Super Bowl, but the first Super Bowl for the Eagles.
Yeah, 22.
You can still buy the Super Bowl hats online from like Fanatics and stuff, and you can get them for like $10 if you want to. I have a clear box you've seen in my basement of all the playoffs hats that I collect over the time. Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to pay that kind of money. Here's a couple news and updates and stuff about the Flyers. I want to get your thoughts on, Mike, as we move forward, as we kind of patiently await free agency. Because if you think about it, like hockey and baseball season especially, and basketball season for the most part, they don't end. They have like a lull. They don't really end because as soon as the playoffs are over, and think about, here's like really a down part about it. Like football just does it right. We talk about people not having enough time to get new coaches if your team wins and all this stuff. I mean, as soon as the season's over, it's like days later, free agency starts. A week later, we're there in draft, all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's the one thing is we're waiting for the final puck to drop in the last game of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and then it's go time. So let me ask you these questions: Jamie Drysdale, his contract, he's a restricted free agent. Are they gonna make it worthwhile for him to come? Did he do enough for you to want to pay him?
Yeah, I think Drysdale and Zegras both get re-signed. I really do. I think both of them get re-signed. I'm looking for, some of the homegrown talent's probably going to be here, but I think
just Owen. What about Owen Tippett?
Oh, he's not going nowhere. Not after this year. I would have thought.
My question is if they're if they're going to swing for the fences, and I'm not saying they should do this, because like him, what's his name? Why am I completely blank? Rasmus Ristolainen, guys like that, they could be big trade candidates that can bring you in big time players or players if you're looking to, stock the pond in some ways as well. Number one, is everybody in conversation for trades?
No. And what I mean by no is Mitch, they're going to have to get a haul, I believe, if they're going to move Mitchkov.
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either.
They're referring to this as vengeance tour. Do you think? Let me ask you that kind of question since you brought it up. Does Mitchkov learn from his mistakes?
I think he does.
I think he's young enough. You give him one more year to do so. Even if he shits the bed like he did this year, for lack of better words, we still had a okay year based on not doing well. Really came alive at the end, but then kind of no-showed in the playoffs. If he did that again, I don't think his value is any higher or lower
than what it is now. So, right. And here's the thing: like, this is why I say you got to go out and get somebody to pair with him. If you go get a guy like Tarasenko to come in here, teach him how to be a pro. Okay, I think that would help him going a long way. I really do. This is why I wanted Tarasenko last year, so he could help mold him into a professional. Okay, he's a countryman. Tarasenko is very well respected back home. And it wouldn't cost you much to bring him in. And Tarasenko, no offense, Tarasenko had more points for Minnesota this year in the playoffs than Travis Konechny had for us. So,
no, listen, he's a wily veteran. He knows how to score. He knows how to be in the big moments at the right time and all that stuff. I'm not against, especially if he might fit the criteria of what you need to have a wily vet here for a year or two.
I want one or two guys to match up with Mitchkov if they can do it. If for some odd reason Evander Malkin does not get re-signed by Pittsburgh, I would love to bring him in to pair him with Mitchkov.
Mhm.
I think he could help him. Granted, he's 40 years old. I get it. We're not getting the Evander Malkin who was a scoring champion. I get that. But he's good enough to still come in and help mold this kid.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
You're going to need to go and get somebody with some experience. So, yes, you're going to have to sign an old head to come in and work with this kid. Okay. And my two guys are either Malkin, which is probably going to cost you a ton of money to bring him in, or you can go the cheaper route and go get Tarasenko and bring him in.
I
And
think I don't know. I mean, I know we've done the old Pittsburgh, Yamir Yager, all that kind of stuff in the
I
past.
know Max Talbot. I get it.
I don't know if he translates, and if he's going to cost you, he ain't going to be worth it. Was he 38?
40.
He's like, he's 40. Yeah,
He's 40.
That
No, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, you need somebody like that to pair with Mitchkov. Like, you got to go get, and that's why I think Tarasenko's 34. Okay, so he's old by hockey terms, but he's still a young guy.
But there's plenty of 34-year-olds who play at a high level in hockey. I mean, hockey is a very strange sport in the sense that you could start very young and you can go into your 40 and it's not the craziest thing you've ever heard. Like you can start at 19 and 17, 18, 19 and you could play 20 years and keep going. I mean, it can happen. Does it happen all the time? No, but guys keep themselves in good shape. They can play well. Does Matvei Michkov ever live up to the hype that we all kind of put on him, or do you always think he can just be a really good player?
I think he can be a very good player.
Like you think his ceiling is a very good player?
Yeah. Do I think he's
can he raise past that? Can he ever be the star, the player that this team?
He's got to put the work in. If he's willing to put the work in, Al, the sky's the limit. But he's got to show he can put the work in. And this is why I'm saying you go get somebody who is a professional, like a Malkin or a Tarasenko to pair with this kid for a couple of years and sit there and say, hey, look, kid, you follow me. I'm going to show you how to be a NHL star. Because Tarasenko was a star for many years, man. And, Minnesota thought well enough to go trade for him this year. So to bring him in for their playoff push. So again, you have him here. If it takes a year and he mentors Mitchkov for a year, then you got Tarasenko you can trade off to go get some assets back. I mean, he's not going to get you a first-round pick, but he'll get you something if you have to move him. But if we're trying to go where we want to go, if we're going to go,
I think he could still be an elite player.
I think he can too, but he's got to put the work in. And I think
early on now, this could be coach speak. This could be just trying to salvage whatever, or make him a tradable piece, whatever. But Tocchet praised his work ethic, noting the young star is approaching next year like a quote unquote vengeance tour, which is what you want to hear. You want to hear that he's not just I'm putting the work in finally, but I'm angry with what I did and how I handled this previous offseason and how I move forward. The last Flyers question I have for you, and it's more of a, put on your special hat and, try to read the future and all that stuff. Maybe get your cards in front of you. But Porter Martone we all loved him. I fell in love with him. I want him a Martone jersey. I'm ready. I'm ready to go full Porter Martone. Was he a flash in the pan, do you think? Do you think he's great? He could be a big star in this team. He could be a lifer. What do you feel about Porter Martone? Or could he be a casualty of trying to make big moves and you strike knowing that you can get him really high at this point and he could fall off and not be as big as we had him just for this nice chunk of time?
No, he's not going nowhere. He's a part of the core. I'm going to be honest with you. The guys that I feel that are on this team that are untouchable, and I'm going to say untouchable. This may wake the bear, but I feel like Owen Tippett right now, the way he performed this year, he's untouchable. Okay, Porter Martone, untouchable. Now you got to remember, Porter played a lot of hockey this year, so I think he kind of got gassed towards the end, which is, it's understandable. Kid played a lot of hockey.
I don't believe in untouchable. I believe people are what I call king's ransom. Like you got to wow the pants off of me. Like literally I got to tighten my belt because my pants are going to fall off.
Well, if you're looking at it,
you gave me.
Right. So I'm looking at Tippett, Martone, Mitchkoff. Okay, you're going to have to wow the pants off. Now, other guys who I feel like might be available for a trade, we may lose out on guys like Noah Cates and Tyson Forrester. This is why, if you listen to the season-ending show,
like Cates, he was a big part of the success, the small success that they had against the Canes. Even though I know people like it's hard to say the word success when you got swept by a team. The Canes are a really good team. I mean, it's a sad truth, unfortunately. They got in front of the bulldozer and they did their damnedest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and how about that? I mean, they finally lost the game. But that happens when you have 12 days off. So again, if you really take a look at it, and I'm going to be real honest with you, those guys, like I said, you may have to give up a Forrester, a Cates in a trade with Aristo, and maybe Risto and Travis Konechny. Travis Konechny, he's the wild card here. He's got a no trade or a no move. So, do I think
Zegras, where do you put him? Is he untouchable? Is he?
I think they're re-signing him. And you know what? Why not? After the year,
I listened. He put on a show. He put on a show.
Now the thing is, can he stay healthy? And he proved this year that he can stay healthy, but it's 1 year. Okay, I like the production from him. I think the Flyers are going to give him a bag. I really do. I think him and Drysdale are going to be back. I really do. Mm-hmm. Now, some of the guys that I wrote down 3 guys that I felt needed to step their game up for next year. All right, it was part of the 3 that that me and Matty B were coming up with, and me and Matty had the same people. Travis Konechny, you got to step up. You're being paid as the man on this team. His playoff performance was absolutely horrendous. My man hit so many posts and shot the puck so wide of the net, it wasn't even funny. Every time he had a chance with the game on the line on his stick, he came up short. It was him, it was Mitchkoff, and Cam York. Cam York had a decent year, but Cam York needs to be better. He was
better Pittsburgh series, and then when the Canes came, he did a vanishing act.
Yes. Okay, and he needs to be better. Now, do I think Juleson will be on this team next year? No. I think he's gone. Grunderson, they kind of like him. I don't know. He might be, or Grabakin, he might be on here.
How about Barkey? Do they?
Yes.
Do they play one of these guys that were like Porter Martone? But I mean, guys who played more than Porter Martone did all season long. Do they take a guy like that and say, "Fine, we're going to go get somebody. We're going to use a guy like Barkey. We're going to use a guy."
I hope they don't use Barkey. I don't hope the 3 guys. I don't want them to trade off for this team. Honestly, I don't want Oliver Bonk being traded.
I'm a Bonk guy too, but I always feel like he does well, and then it's kind of like, how about Bump?
Bump could be a trade piece. He
Okay.
really could. I could see them moving on from him, but Barkey, they're not going to move on from. Martone, they're not going to move on from. So, I mean, but the Flyers do have a plethora of wingers. So they are going to get rid of some wingers this offseason.
And I love Martone. It hurts me to say it, though, but I can definitely see him if it gets the job done on a big splash trade. Because, again, at the same time, if we weren't so in love with him right now, you can look at his work. Now, listen, the kid, he played in college, got right down there, came here, melded right into the team like he's been here all season long, really wowed people in the playoffs, at least in the first round against the Penguins, did well, played physical, didn't have the same scoring opportunities as he did in the Hurricane season, as he did in the Penguin season. But he also only has this small of a sample size.
Right. He needs more of a sample size before they're going to trade. That's why I don't think
his trade value is very high because people are so high on his sample size, and then he comes out and kind of just
But you got to let him. You got to let it play itself out. You do. I think it's too early. I think it's too early to try to put him in trade talks. I really do.
I don't subscribe to that. Nobody's untouchable, but other guys are going to cost you. Like everything has a value. If you wanted to call Howie Roseman right now about Jalen Hurts, there's a value to it. If somebody wants to call about Lane Johnson, there's a value to him. Like if you're gonna wow the crap out of me, then and you're willing to do whatever. But before we get into the Eagles talk, real quick, guys, I remind you that today I was on Friday. Mikey had the W yesterday with the Phillies. The rubber matches today, depending on this weather with time and all that stuff. Luckily, they were able to get the game in yesterday. God bless those who went to the game yesterday. What a soggy day. But Matty B has the rubber match today. So that means also it's Sunday. You get a little down on the farm action, which is always one of our favorites. And the final word tonight. So you get a little double Matty B tonight. So maybe you won't see him this morning. Maybe he's getting his rest in because he knows he's going to have to be flapping his wings this afternoon and this evening. And here's a look forward to at the Monday series. That's right, West Coast swing, brother. And this is a big one. This is why this game is very important tonight. You just lost. I said the next 4 series or 5 series are going to be important. You won 6 in a row. You lose against Cincy, which you really shouldn't have. That was just the offense went cold. Then this one now you have to win this one because now you got San Diego in San Diego, Dodgers in LA, and then San Diego back here. So these are 3 important series to give you hope as well as to really move forward for the Phillies. And this is your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lineup of the trio of handsome known here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network.
Trio of handsome. That's great.
Yes. So, Mike, little outside the ordinary for the Phillies happened. It might have flew under the radar for some. They made a signing. Now, listen, he's not a signing that's going to play today, of course. But the Phillies went international. Second international pool signing 17-year-old Korean right-hander Chan Min Park to a contract of $1.2 million signing bonus. He's 6'4". He's a highly coveted young pitcher, secures the highest bonus for international pitchers in 2026 signing period. Now, they had the young, I believe he was Venezuelan or something. They signed, I think he was a third baseman, shortstop they did last year, or on the offseason, I guess it was. And now it's Chan Min Park.
I wonder if he's related to Chan Ho Park.
Well, I think would it have to be Ho Park to be related? I don't know how the last name's.
I don't know how, but his last name's Park. So
maybe if his last name was Ho Park and his first name wasn't Chan, or it was, and he was like,
no, his last name's Park. Like the Chin.
Chan Yin is the first name, right? Because it's Chan.
Yeah, because it's Chan Yin and it's Chan Ho. So that's what I'm saying. I wondered if because he was a good pitcher for many years with the Dodgers, Chan Ho Park. Matter of fact, I think didn't he sign with the Phillies for like a year? I think he's a former Philly.
Yeah.
Chan Ho Park. So when I saw that yesterday, with him signing, I was wondering if he was any relation to him. But no, listen, the Phillies are late to the board as always when it comes to minor league talent.
This is international pool talent. Yeah, this is going outside of just drafting guys or trading for guys. They are putting money into guys who are very young, and this is kind of what the Dodgers have done. This is kind of what teams that have been in the conversation year after year have done. So that's the one, I guess, Preston Mattingly type thing that we've seen. I
don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're late to the party. It says, Mike, have you been watching the Kings and Lanch series? I've been catching a little bits of it, Dave.
Is that what they call them, the Lanch? The Avalanche is the Lanch?
I guess. Maybe he was just trying to abbreviate.
No, I get it. But I could see Colorado people, we're going to go check out the Lanches play.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Carter Hart's been standing on his head in this series. That's why, when we had our little rebuttal earlier, that's why I had to say what I had to say about, the NHL. Like, they screwed the Flyers on this. They screwed all those kids that were connected to those teams. They told them not to keep them on their rosters, that to make them and I think that's BS. I think, and in some ways too, I think Carter Hart's camp wanted that because if you remember, he was kind of griping about getting an extension done with the Flyers. He wanted more money, especially after that 2020 playoff run. Yeah. So when they were up in the bubble. So no, to me, it just seems like, because really, if you take a look at it, I think they all kind of not really went back to their original teams, but they all kind of had the same thing. Like they could go wherever they wanted. And I just think the Flyers not getting any compensation for that is crazy because right now your goalie of the future that you drafted is playing on another team that's in the Western Conference Finals. And we've had a big problem with goaltending. So I mean, but getting back to what Dave said, it's been a good one, Dave. And don't be surprised. I know Vegas is up 2-0, but do not be surprised if that goes 7 games.
No, not at this point in this playoffs. Anything can happen. Back to the Phillies conversation. They traded right-hander Andrew Baker to Colorado for that pool money. Not a big name on anybody's bucket. I've seen Matty talk about him a little bit, but other than that, nobody that you people, average Joes, are going to know too much about. They also, front office, continue to build pitching depth by signing free agent righties Drake Fellows and Brian Keller to minor league contracts. And the other big name, I guess we have to talk about because it happened on yesterday, right? Was it yesterday? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said day before. Sanchez. I had him. Sanchi on Friday. This whole 4-day weekend thing's kind of got me thrown off a little bit. He's 37 2/3 innings scoreless right now. He has second best franchise streak right now. He is behind Grover Cleveland Alexander from 1911 when he had a 41 innings scoreless streak. Can't believe they even know those records from that long ago. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I thought about keeping those kind of records, but whatever. So in his next outing, for all intents and purposes, he could take number 1 spot. Is it just still like the one thing that the Phillies have done so right? Maybe might kind of lucked into it a little bit, the Christopher Sanchez signing. I mean, they had to literally give the guy money because he was so underpaid for his performance. He is an ace on almost any staff, and he is got to be at least currently in the Cy Young talks early on in the season. Does he just continue to just wow you, Mike Lauro?
Yes, because he was our 5th starter. Remember on the first World Series team, he was our 5th starter, and so far he surpassed Nola. Okay, he surpassed.
You surpassed Nola right now. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we're going to get into that too. I said last night, the Phillies probably got about 5 All-Stars right now that I think is going to represent them here in July. You got Wheeler and Sanchez pitching. I think you got Schwarber and Harper because Harper's played really well. He really has. And I think he's deserving of an All-Star spot. I don't say he's a starter, but I think he'll be a reserve. Okay. I think Schwarber, I don't want to hear about Ohtani. He's running circles around Ohtani right now in production. So I think Schwarber will be your DH.
Well,
and then
not since he got back from his illness.
Right.
Than that, yeah.
But then you have, I think they're going to use Duran. I think they'll use Duran only because, one, he's having a good season, and they're here, and it's just theatrics. So Duran will make the team just because they'll want to use his entrance here, for the All-Star game. I really do. I think that would be, and it's not a homer take. He's having a good year. He deserves right now to be an All-Star. Those are your 5, I think, that are going to make it. And I would not be surprised if.
Listen, to put Sanchez as an All-Star candidate currently on May 24th, 2026 isn't really a homer take. I mean, I see it all the time on my favorite posts are when people retweet things about Christopher Sanchez and go, God, I hate the Phillies, but
yeah,
Christopher Sanchez, what a steal, or Christopher Sanchez is a diamond that they found in that rough in Philly. Like, I hear it all the time. And I just love seeing her going eggs. I mean, like just watching them thrive.
But yeah, we can get into this now. I think Nola gets one more start before the phantom injury pops up, and he's got to go on the DL. Yeah. And I think that's going to be their way of sending him to the minors for a rehab assignment. Like they're going to send him down to AAA and go, dude, figure it out.
Yeah, like maybe if or they figure out putting him somewhere different. I mean, I don't think it's the bullpen. I know Spike Eskin talked about smolting him, like what they did with Atlanta did with Smoltz, where they moved when he couldn't pitch, starting pitch anymore. He also became their quasi closer at the end of it. I mean, I don't think he's closer, but can he be a setup guy, in the bullpen? I mean, when it comes to the playoffs, if everything works that way, you really don't need him as a fifth starter if he can do us better in an inning or two.
He will. Yeah, he'll be coming out of the bullpen. He'll be coming out of the bullpen this year.
I don't know. It's a real tough between the money he's getting paid and between the years, man. I don't know what's going on. I think he needs sports psychology as much as he might need a rehab stint.
No, you know what I think it is? I think it's this whole thing with the ABS, because here's a guy who made a living at nibbling on the edges and getting those calls. Now he's not getting those calls because a guy can go and they can go and look at it. And if it's off,
his ball has no movement.
I know. He's been flat.
Yeah, Ryan Madsen. That's what exactly what I was thinking about. Ron Reed, Ryan Madsen names. Yeah, no, it's but can he? That's a question. Like, there's a mentality situation between bullpen and starting, and maybe the fact that if he goes in there knowing that I'm not looking to be throwing 6 innings.
I'm throwing 2.
I'm throwing 1 or 2. That might be mentally a better thing for him. But it's not just that. Like, he is leaving stuff like meatballs in the middle of the plate. Stuff Mike, me and you could go up to the plate and hit sometimes. And I hate talking like this about him because I really do like Aaron Nola as a pitcher, as a human being. And the other problem is, not including this year, man, Mikey Laro, there's 100 million reasons why we are stuck with this man.
Oh, yeah, we got him for the next 4 years. We got 4 more years after this.
You're locked into a lot of pitching between Jesus Luzardo, Christopher Sanchez, if they decide to extend Zach Wheeler another year or two, depending on how that plays out, all that kind of stuff. But you're stuck with him for $24.5 million.
Yeah. And nobody's going to take that contract. Nobody's going to take that contract. So,
and this is the thing is, I want to bring this up because I really think, and I know the players would be totally against this, but this is why I think football and hockey are exciting, especially in the off seasons and stuff like that, is because you can get guys signed to contracts that seem unmovable and get rid of them because there's no, there's a certain amount of guaranteed money in it. There's certain contract rules, but you have no wiggle room in baseball and or basketball. You could sign a $100 million contract today, Mike. Your arm could fall off, and you make $100 million.
Right. Look at Bobby Bonilla. He's still making money.
Yeah. Well, that was just the Mets trying to outsmart everybody.
Yo, but listen, it's not just it's not just believe it or not, he's not just getting paid just from the Mets. He's due to make like $2.8 million this year. Most of it's coming from the Mets, but also the Baltimore Orioles are also paying him.
Not like part of a trade deal or something? Like, how does that work out?
When he went to Baltimore, they extended him or whatever, and he kind of pushed the money out. He allowed them to push the money out. So, like, he's getting a check from 2 different organizations.
Could you imagine? You imagine, like, in July, Bobby Bonilla is just sitting there by his I know it doesn't probably work this way, but by his mailbox waiting.
Yeah.
Like, I would be sitting there pretending like taking selfies. Thanks, Mets. Painters on the mound today. Dave Yarno wants to know, what are we thinking, guys? What are you thinking? I think they have been kind of rebuilding him up, like letting him go only 4 or 5 innings, letting him only throw 65-ish pitches. I think they're trying to ramp him back up, kind of build his confidence back up. So far, it's been good. Not great, but good. It's a wet, muggy day. If they even start off on time, God only knows. It's a tough one today. Wet balls, wet bats, round balls, round bats. They need this win today. And I hope he can live up to that pressure because this team truly needs to win this series today, going to San Diego and LA in my eye.
I don't know. I think we got sold a bag of bad goods with him. I haven't been a
painter train. Wow, you're ready to trade his ass.
Yeah. I'm done. I've seen everything I needed to see. I don't like him. I don't like him.
You don't have to like him, but I'm just saying, like,
no, like to me, he does nothing.
Pitchers have to go down to the minors and reestablish themselves.
You're right, and you know what? I'm sorry, but the good ones don't forget how to pitch. He forgot how to pitch. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't.
How old he is, and he's coming off a second year for Tommy John surgery. Like,
I know. Listen, I'm not.
I think right now, because we're in crunch time. We're in crunch time. As Phillies fans, as the Philadelphia Phillies age, we're in crunch time because we know that we're kind of falling further and further and further and further behind. And also with the looming lockout and all that fun stuff plays a little bit of a factor into it too. We need to give his kid patience. I said this year I'm happy if he's a number 5, and right now he's a number 4 on this pitching staff because Aaron Nola.
Right.
And Rob is saying he does not have hope for Nola. Is there any glimmer of hope for Nola for you? Like I said, he needs to reinvent himself. If he's got to be more of a finesse pitcher and stop trying to strike people out, try to induce ground outs, try to pop ups and all that stuff. That's what I think he needs to do. Because I don't want to hear he's lost velocity.
Phantom injuries coming.
Jamie Moyer could throw 78-mile-per-hour fastballs and get people out. So that's how I can think about it.
Yeah, phantom injuries coming. He's probably going to have to go down and work on some.
And he's got to reinvent himself.
Yeah, they're gonna send him down. Now, how he translates to that? No. Do I have faith that he can turn it around this season? No. But I will say this. And you can kind of follow this pattern. Okay, it's been kind of cool. It's been a kind of cool start to this season, weather-wise. Go back and look at Aaron Nola's numbers in the beginning of the year on years when it's been really, really cool. He has not done well. Now, when the weather gets a lot warmer, he has performed better. I'm not saying the weather is the reason why. Yeah, it's a crazy coincidence if you look at his career.
He's a Louisiana guy, likes that hot, sticky, wet weather. But his last start was on Wednesday, was it not?
Yes.
Games? No, he does terrible in day games. That's just another thing.
Same thing.
That was a 95-degree day.
And it was hot. I know. Okay. So, but I listen, all I'm saying is if you just look, it's a crazy coincidence because I remember I was getting ready to do a show with Pat and I was doing my research on Aaron Nola starts early in the year. And I think like it was really weird. Like if it was under 80 degrees or something, like he's got like a ridiculous like low record and a high ERA. Yeah. And I remember looking that up going, wow, like, and to me, I'm not saying that's the reason because that's like the most homerous of homer takes. I'm not saying that's the reason. He's just been flat out awful. But if you do go back and take a look in the beginning,
we need to trade him to Tampa or Miami or something where it's nice and hot all the time.
No, you don't want to trade him there. You want to trade him in Minnesota. You don't want him coming back and haunting you.
Nobody's going to take $100 million for a guy who can't pitch in the cold and go to Minnesota. I mean, that's don't you know? I mean, that's not going to happen.
Listen. You've seen the Twins, right? They don't worry about winning. They would take. Listen. I saw.
They will worry about paying $100 million for a guy and not winning.
Listen, you want to hear something funny? I saw something where they were talking about a trade, like a possible trade scenario on YouTube. It's one of the baseball guys I follow. And they were talking about trades. And this one really kind of made sense. Yeah, exactly. It had
telltale sign. It won't work.
Yeah, it had the Phillies trading Aaron Nola and Brandon Marsh to the Anaheim Angels for Mike Trout. And he says the way, I think it was a minor leaguer. So one of their better minor leaguers.
Miller, a broken Aiden Miller.
No. It was one of the Angels better.
Okay.
The guy did the mock trade or whatever, but he said financially wise, he said the Phillies would with Aaron Nola's contract the way it is, and the way between him and Marsh's contract and Trout's contract, like the Phillies would end up saving like $30 million. You know, they would end up
per year. I guess that's the question.
It's like 37. He's making like 37 a year. But
how many years are left on his contract?
Like I think he's got until 29 or 30.
So it's the same contract time left for Aaron Nola. How makes sense. Nolan's only spending you're a shade under 25 million.
No,
with him.
yeah, but it doesn't reach 37 million until like 28.
Oh, okay.
It goes up the last 3 years are at 37 million.
Okay, I'll take your word
But-
for him.
So they were kind of breaking it down. They said this is why it makes sense for.
Then why would the Angels want? I can understand them wanting Brandon Marsh. He's young still. You can. He's definitely having a renaissance of his career over the last half a year, last year, and even with the struggles of the Phillies this year, he's been the one bright light that the Phillies have had, even during that dark time of 9-19. But why in God's name would anybody want to take on $100 million if it's going to stop? Like, I can understand them saying we'll take Aaron Nola because maybe he can have a renaissance here. It's warmer here, and he would cost less than keeping Trout. That would make sense.
But like to me,
giving one bad contract
for another, it's more or less what it is. You're swapping bad contracts, and then you're basically trading Brandon Marsh back to the Angels for, I think, it's like their third top prospect.
What about they sent Logan O'Hoppe back? Do you think a certain coffin starts jumping for joy?
Oh Jesus, he'd be doing backflips.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think that would happen. But yeah, I just don't. I don't understand the whole love affection with Mike Trout coming to the Phillies. Me personally, I wouldn't.
That conversation, man. It's because he's a Philly from South Jersey, and he quote unquote grew up a Philly fan, and he's at all the Eagles games. It's bring the boy home. He was one at a time the biggest name in baseball, and he just hasn't had the career or the personality to live up to it. But that's what it is. It's the
no. Well, my thing is
a lot better this year. He's been quote unquote healthier than he has been in many years, and he's playing a lot better. And we do sorely need some outfield assistance because Adolis Garcia. Thanks, but I know it's a short cup of coffee, but that's all I really need to see from him at this point. Like at this point, I'm ready to pull cords on guys like him. I understand you try to take a swing, the guy, give him a change of scenery. He has had it in the beginning, but he can't hit. There has been balls straight down the middle that he has completely missed out on.
Yeah, I thought he'd be a better pickup too. But I'll tell you what, I'm getting a little tired of Justin Crawford too. Justin Crawford's starting to get in my crosshair.
And Mike having no love for the youngsters.
No, I'm not, because he was up twice last night with the bases loaded. And both times, like, come on, dude, you're a contact hitter. Put the damn ball in play. And I mean, hit it where they're not. Like, this dude is great at hitting it where they are. No. And I'm sorry, I'm taking the training wheels off. That's all we heard about is how great this kid is. Okay, what he can do. And I'm sorry, he's been a little lackluster for my liking. Okay, he's not looked comfortable in center field. At times, he's looked a little lost. At the plate,
played well defensively, at least.
He's looked a little lost sometimes out there.
You've seen a little rookie. His rookie showed, but again, he's a rookie, and we're in.
I ain't trying to hear that. No,
we're on May 24th, Mike. You gotta give the guy a little. Wow.
No. Hold on. Every other number one prospect can come up to their team and start contributing. When it comes to the Phillies, they got to trip, fall, scrape their knees, scrape their chin before they can get up and start doing it. I'm tired of it. No. Have them come up and be prepared to play. This dude was hitting pretty well in the beginning. Now, all of a sudden, he's falling back to the pack. And if he comes up with a person on base now, I go, innings over. I don't have no faith in that kid. I don't have no faith in him. I think he needs to be sat for a few days, to be honest with you. Like, I'm sorry. He was up twice last night with the bases loaded. Twice. Not once, but twice. And he grounds out. Dude, you're supposed to be a contact hitter. Hit the ball over the damn infield. You know what I mean? He hits too many ground outs for my liking. If you're trying to start an inning off, and I can see him, hitting the ball on the ground and trying to beat it out with his legs, that's one thing. But you got guys on base, man. You got to swing level. You got to swing level and drive the ball. This dude's not driving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. He's hitting balls into the dirt, and that's it. Some of them are going to get by. He's in the major leagues. These guys don't miss.
I get what you're saying, but again, in baseball, you got to give guys time to marinate. I'm sorry, it's just in my eyes. Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
We haven't provoked his name.
But here's the thing. How is it now? I hear what you're saying. We got to give him time to marinate. How come other prospects can just slip right into the lineup and start producing? They don't need time to marinate. It's only with the Phillies. They're top prospects.
The Phillies always seem to be a little behind, and then maybe that's on the Phillies organization on how they prepare guys. But I think we also see a couple number one guys come up, and like I don't think Connor in Pittsburgh's like wowing. Like he's doing good. Don't get me wrong.
He's doing better than Crawford.
He's doing better, but Crawford's still probably anybody in a rookie year. He's one of the, even with his batting average and everything, one of the top, not top, like top 10, definitely top 5, maybe.
It doesn't matter. I mean, to me, his situational hitting is horrible. And I'm sorry. His situational hitting is horrible. They know coming up now that he's not going to get the job done. Like, I have no faith in him driving in runs. You know, he had his two.
I don't know. I think I have more faith in him than Garcia does. Kind of going to Dave's question here, but yes, Dave, he's out there because they have him. He's a defensive upgrade, but an offensive. It's the same wet paper bag that we've been dealing with Nick Castellanos, if not in some ways worse from an offensive standpoint.
He's about to get cut.
But yeah, it's the funny part. But Garcia's out there because they have no other choice. They don't have a right-handed bat. They don't have. They're hoping that he can come back to some. They just signed him. They're hoping they can he can find his way. But yes, outside of the defense, he's there. But he's also batting 4th and 5th at times. It's no good. Garcia needs.
He was batting 8th last night. That's
right. Last night he was. Another thing is, just so you know, we talked about the Angels taking on another arbitrage of a contract of a Phillies pitcher who is a shell of himself. Angels picked up Taijuan Walker on a minor league deal yesterday. Yeah. So do you think they're just going to keep going to the bargain bin of the Philadelphia Phillies and see if they can get something? I think if anything, that's just going to make them go, we don't want to touch any Phillies pitcher that used to be or could have be or whatever at this point. And the other bit of news is a Phillies prospect who has been injured lately, and not the one we're all thinking about, not Ada Miller. Gabriel Renconis Jr. returned to the outfield, officially back on the diamond following a series of knee issues he had, aiming to work his way to the big leagues this season. Do we see Gabriel Renconis Jr.? I mean, do they Reyes him like they did? They bring him up to see if we can bring a spark to this outfield, anything like that?
I'll tell you what, he'll bring more of a pop than Reyes. I believe that. I think
Reyes had that moment, like, oh, home run, first pitch, first at bat. But it's like
after that, what happened? He disappeared. I don't think Renconis Jr. will disappear. I like him, and I think that's your right fielder of the future. Anyway, to be honest with you,
you think Renconis Jr. is our right fielder of the future? Okay, all right.
I do. I like.
I hope you're right, Mike Laro.
I like his power, man. But the problem is, he's a left-handed bat. Like, that's the only issue. Like, this team is so left-handed power heavy, it's not even funny. All right, Al. I think we got to segue. First off, you think the Phils get the W today?
Yeah.
I don't. I think they dropped their second straight series.
Yeah, I think they go. The reason I think they win, and I'll tell you why. I think you're going to start seeing a little bit of a resurgence from the hitting today. They kind of got they were kind of stringing some more hits along together yesterday. Hopefully they can start building off this because they were in a very cold streak. I think Painter does well today. I think he goes 5 solid innings, keeps the game, the scoring 2 or less runs. And I think the offense will show up. It'll be a 5-2, maybe 5-3 Phillies victory today. That's where I'm going with.
I think he gets rocked. I think he gives up 6 runs in 4 innings. And I think our boy Rhys Hoskins comes back and haunts the Phillies today. I think he hits not 1 but 2 homers. And I like Cleveland today. I think Cleveland rocks them. I think it's like 7-3. Okay. They go out on the.
They're a good team. They're top in the AL Central. They have a really good record. This is why I said we all got excited, but now they're playing above 500 teams. We got to see how they play. Just so you know, so far in May, before we move on, Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler combination, right?
Mm-hmm.
64.2 innings pitched, 66 strikeouts between the both of them, only 7 walks between the both of them, 5 earned runs between the both of them, and they have a 0.70 ERA.
That's why I said they're going to be all-stars. Like right now, Zach Wheeler's 4-0. You know what I mean? And he's the last time he started 4-0, I think, was 2019. So I really do like his chances going forward. If they can only get Luzardo on track, like this dude, like to me,
at least he's up and down. He's more up than he's down than Aaronola is, but that's not saying much. But he can have a clunker in between. So that's a question.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I'm saying. We need a better, more consistent Jesus Luzardo. I mean, you sign that long contract, they extended you. Go out and take this money. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to be moving on from a Zach Wheeler, say within the next couple of years, Luzardo is supposed to be stepping into that spot. You know what I mean? As your number 2, behind Sanchez. Right now, man, you really can't. I'm not comfortable with what I'm seeing from him. And to me, it looks like you only have every 5th day, you got Sanchez and Wheeler. After Sanchez and Wheeler, it is a crapshoot. You don't know what Nola you're going to get. You don't know what type of deal Painter's going to give you. And Luzardo's been so up and down, it's like being on a roller coaster. So if your bottom 3 pitchers are doing that, which, by the way, Al, did you see or did you hear that MLB stopped the Phillies from signing Trevor Bauer in 2024?
No, I didn't see that. Is it officially? That's official?
Yes. Somebody was talking about it. Somebody like messaged him and was like, bro, I would love to see you come on the Phillies, man. Like the way Nola's been struggling. Literally, Trevor Bauer answered the guy back. He said, I had a deal in place with Philly in 2024 before the league stepped in and stopped it.
Well, we all kind of guessed that was what was going on because how many teams need pitching? And even right now, Trevor Bauer could be a huge upgrade. He could be the great guy to bring up as the Aaron Nola phantom injury kicks in at this point. I had a feeling that it had to be the league. It had to be the league. I mean, nobody else.
I'm excited. He's playing for the Long Island
one
Ducks.
Other team by now. One of the 30 teams in the MLB would have said, you know what, we need pitching help. Trevor Bauer could be that guy.
I want to know one thing. Why is the league stepping in and saying no? Like they are literally blacklisting this guy.
They blacklisted him. So everybody knows the Trevor Bauer situation.
Right.
He had some issues where it was sexual and aggressive, but it was there was no charges brought against him. It was led to be that this was a consenting sexually aggressive situation, act, or whatever you want to call it. So what people do in between their sheets is between those people, as long as it's consenting and all that stuff. I don't judge. But my point is, whatever he did there and whoever he pissed off, maybe it was one of these guys, maybe it was like what's his name, Manfred. Maybe it was his wife. I don't know, or his sister or something. I don't know. But they have blacklisted him because of this reason.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, to me, that's BS. I mean, can you imagine how much he would have helped the Phillies in 24 if he would have been on this team, having him as a starting pitcher? Oh, the wife was bringing me coffee. It's my wife, Jamie, making an appearance, y'all.
Hold on. Here's my wife bringing me coffee. Oh, wait a minute. No, she would have. I asked. I'm just being.
Oh yeah. Well, she was up. She was up.
Like better than anybody.
Yeah, I kind of like stuck my cup underneath here and kind of like stuck my arm out, like, hey, and she was like, so she went and got it. I didn't know she made an appearance. So she's gonna.
My wife wouldn't sit next to me. I can't just take my cup and go, please.
Yeah.
Please.
So, but
yeah, go ahead.
We gave our predictions for today. Now we got to talk about the elephant in the room, quote unquote. Not our chatter, but Eagles. You guys are all.
Come on, Dave. You're making me go back into the conversation. He plain flat out sucks right now. He is. Oh my God! Hold on, Mike. Give me 30 more seconds. I just gotta tell Dave the answer. Like, Dave, I don't want to hear his no run support. Zach Wheeler didn't get much run support yesterday. Christopher Sanchez got no run support the day before. Aaron Nola is getting paid more than Christopher Sanchez. Like, let's not play this game. There's plenty of times we've wasted, like, Friday night, we've wasted good pitching efforts. He is not wasting good pitching effort. What did he go, 3 2/3 inning or something like that the last time? He got rocked. He's getting rocked. It's between the ears, I think, more than physically with him, but he does have a lot of mileage on him. He needs to reinvent himself. It's plain and simple. He is not the throw the ball past him, get the guy off balance, start swinging. He doesn't have that. He needs to become a finesse pitcher. Please, please, please. Don't tell me the run support thing. That's god-awful BS in the game of baseball. You could be a great pitcher on a bad team. It's possible. It's very possible.
Paul schemes.
Yeah, the win-loss record might not show it, but the ERA does. You have guys with a 2 ERA, but with a horrible win-loss record. But that's not what's going on here.
Boy, Dave really got you going with this one.
Nola playing out sucks right now. Just admit it. Say it with me, Dave. Aaron Nola playing out sucks right now. Can he be better? Sure. I said this earlier. When Matty B asked us both the question, Mike, he said, would you prefer to get another starting pitcher? Would you prefer to get a right-handed bat? Or would you prefer to get another third baseman? I said 2 of those things we have that could possibly have the potential of getting better. That's Aaron Nola and that's Alec Bohm. We don't have a right-handed bat. But Aaron Nola is starting to fall in number 2 in that spot, maybe creeping and snap the number 1 the way he's playing as bad as he is, unless he gets his shit together. So I'm not coming at you, Dave, but that's a load of crap with the run support thing.
Well, hold on. I'll even go even further with that. Aaron Nola should be used to it, right? From 2015 to 2019, every start he had, he didn't get no run support.
Mm-hmm.
But he found a way to pitch his way through it. Right now, he's just not pitching good at all. And, he used to labor to get to 5 innings. Now that labor's going 3.5 now. And you knew if Aaron Nola was pitching, he was giving up at least a home run. Now he's giving up 2 to 3. There's something, like I said, be prepared. Phantom injury coming. He's going to go down to the minors.
Yeah.
And they're going to have him go down and try to rework on his stuff. That's you can see it clear as day. He's not going to take an outright demotion down to the minors because of his time in. But, I can see him definitely phantom injury.
I'm not going there. I believe Nola gives you innings. What innings? All right, hold on. I'm sorry. Aaron Nola.
Hey, Dave, listen, Dave does the I think Dave's a part of I think he's a part of the Stream Punk Phillies post game over there. So I don't know, man. Bring up his last 4 starts. I don't think he went 5 innings.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go backwards. Here we go. So he went 5 innings against the Reds, and he let up 8 hits and he let up 4 runs. On May 15th, he against the Pirates, he went 3 2/3 innings. That's the one where they were able to come back from a 6-run deficit. Might I add? He went 3 2/3 innings and left up 6 runs. Before that, he went 4 2/3 innings against the Colorado freaking Rockies, and he let up 3 earned runs. Let's go before that. He led 6 innings. He won that. They were able to win that game. That was one of his better games in Miami. That's why I said trade in Miami. He'll do better there. He went 4 2/3 inning and let up 6 runs against the Atlanta Braves on April 26th. He went up 4 1/3 innings before that against the Cubbies. Now, granted, the whole Phillies organization was at shit at this point, but still, he's not eating up. The best he's done so far was 6 1/3 inning. That was in the beginning of the season in Colorado when he let up run. That was one of his 2 of his better games this season. Everything else has been 3 or plus run innings outside of the Miami game where he let up no runs.
Right,
that was his best pitching effort all season long. But
so if you're looking at it, he's averaging probably 5 innings. So you need Aaron Nola to. He says, I'm not going there. I believe Nola gives you innings. Dave, we just kind of put it up. His starts right there. He's not giving you innings. So he should be averaging between 6 and 7 innings. Okay. I will never, you could probably put this in the bank. You will not see Aaron Nola do a complete game this year. I would lay money on it. I would love to see the odds on that of him having a complete game. There's just no way. He throws too many pitches and he gets burned out. Like he can't make it through Aaron Nola is not a 3 times through the lineup pitcher anymore. He's
No.
2. You get
That's why he might be a bullpen, a long guy. If a guy goes Aaron Nola type innings, like 3 or 4 innings, and you need a guy to come in and throw a couple extra. But right now, he does not have it. I'm not saying he can't come back. I'm not saying we can't start to see some sort of Aaron Nola renaissance, but it's not going to be the same Aaron Nola. He needs to learn to be more of a in the dirt contact finesse pitcher. Nola has been this way for 2.5 years, and it leaked more and more oil. Change the oil, sell the car, or junk it. So I mean, Nooms is on the. He'll be back. It happens to all pitchers. I'm telling you. But like Nooms said, this isn't this. I'm not freaking out over the 2026 season. I'm not. Last year, what did he do? He got injured. He only pitched 94 and 1/3 inning. He's already pitched 50.2 innings. He's only 44 innings less innings pitched than he's pitched this year. So if he goes on an average of, keeps up his average, you said 5 innings, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what, eight more games just to get to that. So 8 more games. That's 8 games. That's every 5 days. That's another 40 days. So you're looking into July that he could have this. He has a 6.4 ERA. Guess what? Last year he had a 6.01. And before that, he was sub 4, 3.57, 4.46, 3.25, 4.63. This is from 21 and on. He has, if it wasn't for those 20 to 22, he has a 3.89 ERA career right now because of his early work. But if you look at just the last 4 or 5 years, it's about a 5. So my point is not been well lately. It's true facts. I love Aaron Nola. I'm not like, I hate this guy. I don't have a vendetta against him. It only helps me if Aaron Nola gets back to Aaron Nola that we used to know. But I don't think at his age, the way he's going, and for 4 more years, it's not like we have to only worry about this year. It's 4 more freaking years. Do we think he can hold that up? Even if he fixes it this year, do you think he can do it the next year, the year after, the year after, and the year after that? That is the question.
Yeah, and I don't agree with Dave's statement right here. Saying that he'll get it back. Dave, to me, no offense, but you're sounding like a fan hoping that he gets it back. I would love to see some examples where you think a pitcher has lost it and has gotten it back, because to me, he's been on a downward spiral for the last 3 years now. Each year's getting worse and worse with Aaron Nola. It's not getting better. And that's why I was so surprised that they signed him to that long of a deal. Al, we came on and talked about it. Even Pat was with us. When Pat was with us, we all looked and was like, what the hell are they doing? Because you saw the signs of him going down. That statement there by Dave. No, Dave, you're hoping as a Phillies fan that he gets better. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I'm hoping he gets better too. But the reality is, look at his numbers. The reality is he's not getting any better. So, again, look for the phantom injury. He'll probably have to go down to the minors, do a couple rehab starts, and they're going to try and figure out a way to get him through this season. But the bad part is you got 4 more with him, unless you find a sucker like L.A., the Angels, to take on his contract.
Don't worry, he's a lot better than Taijuan Walker, guys. L.A., if you're listening. All right, so Dave, you got us off our beaten path. I'm not letting you steer me off again with the Phillies. Let's talk about Dave Yarnold's favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Here we go, Mike Laurel. What were you saying before I got in my field?
I love when the schedule comes out. We get a chance to look at it, and you try to look at it objectively. I heard Matty give his quote unquote unofficial. I guess he's going to do an official one. I guess right before the season. So I guess this is our unofficial or my unofficial one.
It's a non-scientific breakdown. It's kind of a brief overview
of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I see his point with the whole thank you, Robert. I see his point with the whole anything can happen.
Sure. That's for any team. It's like that's the most generic thing to say. Well, anything can happen. Aaron Nola can get better today. I don't know.
But I'm looking at actual facts here. And I'm taking the Eagles offense out of the equation. I'm looking at just team versus team. Now, offense is a part of it. Okay.
I'm just putting it up.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because we kind of moved on to the birds here. Like, I listened to our boy Matty, and I'm sorry. I want to know what he's taking. If he thinks opening week here at home, the Eagles are going to lose. I get it, new offense. So he's taking that into accountability. But I will say this, when Chip Kelly got hired his first year, he brought a new offense in here too, and it kind of took the league by storm. I'm not saying that the Eagles offense is going to take the league by storm. Do I think they're going to have some growing pains? Of course. It's another new system that they're learning.
First 3 games is preseason in my eyes. Remember that. That always plays
right.
a factor. Keep going.
But I'm looking at the rosters. If you're looking at the rosters right now, the Eagles have a way better team. Offensively, even with the Eagles, knowing with a new system, they can run the ball against that Washington defense. That Washington defense is not very good. Their offense is not very good. So to sit there and say, I think Washington's going to win, that's an opinion. That's his opinion to have. I'm looking at it factually. You're looking at the 2 teams coming in. And I'm going to be honest with you. I went down the list. I listened to what he said. He said they could be 8-5 going into that 3-game stretch at the end of the year. They could be, they could win 12 games or they could lose 9. I'm sorry. And this isn't a homer take. I look at it like this. If I'm looking at that schedule, well, he's putting it up there, huh? Oh, no. You're doing that to me. Oh,
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. So if you're looking at that schedule, honestly, everybody's giving the Eagles a loss against the Rams. I'm not. You want to know why?
Why?
McVay hasn't beaten Sirianni yet. Head-to-head. He's 0-5 against Sirianni. Now, has there been some luck that played into this over the last couple of years? Yes. But until he beats Sirianni, you got to give the Eagles the benefit of the doubt. I do think Game 3, that I think Chicago has taken a hit on their offense.
Chicago has subtracted but not added in my eyes. I think they're due for a little bit of a small step backwards, at least. I'm not
harder. Yeah.
But
here's the thing.
I think they're going to be stepping backwards a little bit, yeah.
I think they are too. I think they're going to they got a harder schedule. Okay? They get a number 1, they won the division. They got a number 1 ranked schedule. They're going to come back to reality, and I think the Eagles can beat them. Now, I like Ben Johnson, and he pretty much kind of clowned the Eagles last year on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see them being, 3-1 out the gate. I don't think they lose both Chicago or the LA Rams. I think they may lose one of those games.
I think Chicago on Monday night's a little bit of a higher probability of a loss to me. I think it's favorable for the Eagles. This is me getting a little scientific. We'll get into that in our scientific breakdown or later in the season or before the season starts. Me and Mike we'll do a whole special on our science of the schedule. Once we know what the team looks like and the other teams look like and injuries and all that stuff. But I think it's favorable for when LA comes here and a 1:00 game on a Sunday, West Coast to East Coast, that kind of thing. I think that's a favorable thing for the Eagles in that sense.
Yeah. And, I like his statement right here. If Jurgens and Dickerson are not improved, but I think they're going to be healthy, man.
That's what I've been saying too, Mike. I think what's going to make or break this team right now is the offensive line. Are they the offensive line of last year or the offensive line of the couple of years prior to that?
And
that's what I want to know.
And there's also been rumors too that the Eagles are trying to have a reunion with Mekhi Becton to bring him back to play guard. So again, we still have to wait and see with personnel because there are.
That's why it's an overview.
Right. This is just a quick overview of this. And to be honest with you, I actually had them going 4-0 out to start. I really do. I think they can beat Chicago in Chicago, but I think that if there is a game they're going to lose, I think it would be that Chicago Monday night game. But I still have them winning. I think they win a close one. again, until the Rams come here and beat the Eagles, until Super Stud McVay beats dumb Sirianni, I'm giving it to the Birds because he hasn't proven he could beat Sirianni.
Yeah.
Now,
well, me look at it like because I know people look at the Jacksonville, London game. The Carolina's gotten better. I don't believe that. I believe Carolina. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I believe Carolina is a better team, but that's saying they're better than the worst team in the league because that's what they were up until recently.
Yeah, but Carolina got some players, and they did really well.
How many times you see teams get some players coming off a good season over, jumping, kind of getting the playoffs? I'm not sitting there putting Carolina down saying they're not going to be a better team. I don't think they're going to be this game-wrecking team. They're not. I don't know how much of a step forward they take this year.
Well,
just because you have good players doesn't mean you have a good team. Like we've seen this play out. The old super team, if you remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
Jacksonville in England and then Carolina, that plays favors for Jacksonville and Carolina.
Well, here's the thing. I think they beat Jacksonville in England. I think they get their first loss at home against Carolina. I think Carolina comes here and beats.
Loss in week 6, is that? Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to remember something. Usually, the team that plays overseas, they usually get a bye. Now you're flying across the world, coming back, and you got to prepare for a team. The very next one. So I have them getting a loss there. I think Carolina. I think jet lag is for real in that. I think and you got Carolina coming off a bye. That's the first team coming off a bye to play the Eagles. So, the next week after
knows how to be better. I think he will be. That's one guy I'm not really as worried about as some other people are.
No, I'm not either. I'm not worried about. I think the Eagles are going to be fine defensively. I look at them to win. Out of the first 5 weeks, I think they're going to solidify at least 3 wins. I really do. I think the Eagles defense will solidify at least 3 wins in the first 5 weeks. Then you got the big Monday nighter here against the Cowboys. I think the Eagles win this one here. Then you have a Sunday night tilt in Washington. I think we break out the brooms and sweep them. And then you have the Giants here on a Sunday, and it's a rare 1:00 game.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 divisional games before the bye. It's a little bit of a tiny divisional gauntlet. I know.
I like it.
And Washington and Giant might not always be great teams, but it's divisional, and it always makes a little bit of a difference in my eyes.
But I think they get the W here. They go into the bye with still only 1 loss. Coming out of the bye, I think they beat Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh hasn't won here since the early 60s. And I don't see them coming here and beating the Eagles here. If the game was in Pittsburgh, I would have taken the Steelers, even coming out of the bye. The Eagles historically don't play well in Pittsburgh, and it's kind of the opposite way for the Steelers. They historically don't play well here. So then that leads into Turkey Day against the Dallas Cowboys. We split with Dallas every year. I don't think it's going to be no different than this year. I think we win the first game. I think Dallas wins the second game. That moves on to Arizona the following week, beginning of December. There's no way in hell the Eagles are losing that game to Arizona.
I don't know. I always said if there's one game, there's always one game they lose that they shouldn't. Arizona's kind of my circled game there.
Okay. I have them winning against Arizona. I also
saying it's going to happen. I'm saying if I had to pick a game here, I could see that they drop one that they shouldn't. Arizona's that game.
Mine. I'll let you know what mine are. All right. I have them beaten Indy. That's another 1:00 game here. Then 6 days later, you got Seattle coming cross country. And like you said, I think that Super Bowl winning hangover thing is real.
5 o'clock on a Saturday, too.
5 o'clock on a Saturday. I like that game. I love the Eagles in that game. You got them flying cross country to come here and play, and it's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. Not that it's not cold and nasty in Seattle, but they got to come here. I like the Eagles in that one. And I also like the Eagles in the Thursday night game against the Texans. Because the Texans, to me, Christmas Eve, they don't have an offense. They do not have an offense. They have a defense, they don't have you can wear that defense out. You keep running the ball. And you don't think a guy like Bigsby?
Mhm.
You don't think he's not going to want to get hyped up and ready for helping out there? You also got Damian Pierce, who used to play for the Texans, and is a former 1,000-yard rusher that's on this roster. The Eagles, like I said, I see a lot of three-headed monsterisms coming back with this team this year.
Mhm.
I do think after that, though, I think that will be the last win of the year against Houston. I think they dropped the San Francisco game in Frisco. And the last game of the year, the Giants, isn't going to matter. I think they lose that one. So, 4 losses.
13-4 is what you got.
13-4.
Good morning,
And
Steve, what's up,
morning,
buddy?
morning,
You want-
Stevie.
I'm a fan of the Birds playing on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve.
So am I. It gives me something to watch.
So yeah, I think it really depends on people's, tradition.
Schedule.
Kids, like my youngest kid's 10. He'll be 11 by Christmas and Thanksgiving. He understands the scenarios with the holidays, especially Christmas. I don't mind the Thanksgiving one. I mean, I'm doing Thanksgiving outside my house this year, so I'm bringing a big TV with me because I'm making sure this happens because my wife's side of the family has a lot more young kids, so we rent a small hall into it. So yeah, I'm going to be there watching that. The Christmas Eve game's interesting, I guess, this year because is it late enough for it to be better for me? I think it's better that it's later because it's like an 8:15, 8:20 start, something like that. That is 8:15. So yeah, I mean, typically I have to play a certain someone and get certain things together, but we know how that works out. So yeah, I don't mind it. And you know what? A couple friends are coming home for the holidays. It gives me something to watch with them, so I'm excited for that. So yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. I think it does play a little bit of a factor in the Eagles' schedule, making things a little bit.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think how our area is? A lot of bars, restaurant type places that usually watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve is usually a night where everything shuts down early.
Mm-hmm.
So, do places still shut down early for the Christmas Eve?
I'm guessing from a business standpoint, that does suck. I mean, that's a really good point, Mike. I mean,
you know what I mean? Because stop and think about it. That's an 8:00 game.
That's one game off the season that you can't make money on. At least with the international game, you can be like, oh, we can open up early. We can do a kegs and eggs.
Right.
Plus,
which, by the way, Al, I think we should.
Thanksgiving too. A lot of people, there's Thanksgiving games. They're not open for them too. So that's two big games that kind of affects them.
Question.
And one of them's Eagles Dallas, so that's a big one.
Well, I got both Eagles Dallas games are prime time this year.
Yeah.
One's Thanksgiving, the other one's Monday Night Football. So, again, we got to work on something, man, to try to be somewhere, I think, for that Jacksonville game. Because I know either we're going to have to go that Saturday morning and try to, I can't because you coach football. So we're going to have to try to do something to get off the air before that game gets going. Because that's going to be kind of crazy to try to be on.
Well, I mean, we'll figure out the schedule when we get close to that. That might be a bye week for you and I, or
there you go. That'll work.
Or maybe we just take care of the post-game show together, just me and you, and that'll be kind of like what I do with my Friday night show, where I start during the game, talk about everything, and then we get into the post-game. You know what I mean? Gotcha. I don't know if I would go live during the Eagles game because nobody's paying attention to us.
No.
But maybe me and you'll just handle the post game because 9:30. I think it's about 12:30. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Anyway, I just really thought about that because you figure that game starts 8:15, right? Mm-hmm. So you figure by the time that game's done, you're looking at what quarter to like 11:30. It's okay.
Well, Mike, actually, from our standpoint, if we really think about this, you got Chicago, you got Dallas, you got week, whatever the bye week is,
10.
You have the other Dallas game, I guess. Yeah, right.
Yeah, 4:30 Thanksgiving.
The Seattle game will be played before us.
Mm-hmm.
The Houston Christmas Eve game, and God knows what. I mean, I guess the last game of the season wouldn't matter. Oh, and the San Francisco game because it's a Sunday night game.
Yes.
So there's a lot of games that either the Eagles have already played for a little while now, or won't play by the time we come on Sunday morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it kind of stretches it out a little. It's kind of an odd duck for us. There's a handful of games like that.
Yeah,
Eagles,
exactly.
Eagles having 8 standalone games is brutal for these late night post game shows for you guys. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll be me. I'll be on for those.
I'm out of retirement, bro. On those ones, it will wake up. Right?
But yeah, I got the Birds like initial. I'm gonna kind of do the same thing, Matty B. Like my initial looking at it from my standpoint, and it's not a homer take because I can argue the point with the Rams. Yeah, aisle 5.
He's at one point he's going to add you on the other side there as the co-owner.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's cool though. But I mean, really, what can I say? Like, I don't want to hear. Yeah. I don't want to hear, oh, well, they were 2 block field goals. Do you really think that's going to happen again? Listen, something always weird happens with Eagles-Rams. It does. Okay? The year before that, it was Barkley breaking off 4 long runs to beat them twice in the same year. So I don't want to hear it. Like, it is what it is. McVay is 0-5 against Sirianni. Until he beats Sirianni, I'm not giving the Rams anything. And they got to come cross-country. And I do believe that game is that a 4 o'clock game? Let me look. No, it's on 1 o'clock.
So it's favorable. It's favorable for the Eagles from a.
You know what I mean?
Cross country.
Yeah.
And it's the 4th game of the season. So by then you've kind of got the rust off. So the Eagles should hopefully kind of be more into what they should look like and a better understanding of live action Sean Mannion. And we'll know what the offensive line looks like at that point too.
Right. And and they're going up against a very good team. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it. The Rams are probably, they're probably 1A. I mean, you got to give Seattle their due. They're defending champions. So, I mean, right next to them is right next to the Seattle is the Rams. But the
also,
Eagles.
I mean, we forget. I mean, and listen. So far, he's proven everybody, that this isn't an issue. But he is getting older. They just signed him for $55 million a year for an extension, 1 year, $55 million, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can he hold up health-wise? He was having a problem struggling to stay on the field last year.
He was, and
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, bud. Nooms. I'm just playing devil's advocate because that's something Matty B is going to come back and say to me. They were fortunate. And the thing is, yeah, I understand. Speaking of the devil, here he is.
God. Oh no! It happened, guys. It happened. Oh,
no, I'm
South Philly, where every loss has a reason, every collapse has an explanation, and every quarterback is still elite. Welcome to Big Al's Excuse Emporium.
Listen, I don't understand how it became Big Al's Excuse Emporium when Mike's the one sitting there talking about we need a Mike's Excuse section of the Emporium.
That's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't care. On. I knew I heard the creak. I heard the creak.
No, but I mean, listen, I'm speaking logical fact here. Like the Rams have not beaten the Eagles in the last 5 times. Now, I'm not saying that they won't beat the Eagles, but you can't tell me I'm nuts for taking the Eagles when McVay.
You say it that way. They played the Rams a lot more in the last few years than I've seen them play in the past. Yeah,
right, and that's what I'm saying.
The NFL wants the matchup. It's a good matchup.
It is, and it's and the Rams are a really good team. But to sit there and say, "Oh well, the Eagles are definitely losing that one," like no, like McVay's got to come here and beat the Eagles. Like, I got to see him beat the Eagles. If he beats the Eagles this year, then I can sit there and say, hey, you know what? The Rams were the better team. But until they beat the Eagles, no, I'm not giving the Rams that game. They're coming cross country, 1 o'clock. No, it sets up well for the Birds. That's why I took them in this one. Now, I think if they are going to slip up in the first 4 games, that Monday night game with the Bears could be a loss. I just think they're a better team than the Bears. Bears lost a lot offensively. DeAndre Swift right now, still a free agent, hasn't re-signed there. They traded DJ Moore in this offseason.
To the Bills, right?
Yeah. So, again, you're looking at, and you got guys coming back off of injury. You know what I mean? Cole Kmet's coming back off of an injury. What's he going to look like? So again, Bears got a harder schedule. So again, I'm going to have to wait and see. You know, with the Bears, like they could be a 1-year wonder. You know, like this is what something. You know, people don't want to give Sirianni credit for, but the guy's been in the postseason 5 straight years. Wow, sorry.
Yeah. You got him so worked up, guys. He's choking over
here. Yeah, I mean, like again, like of course.
You sound like me and Dave going back about Aaronola right now. Now it's Matty
and
Mike.
Listen. I listened to him and Kyle, man. Like I didn't know whether to give him a hug or buy him a dog. Between him and Kyle, like they're so scared. Like they get the seventh season.
Kyle's WIP was showing that time.
Oh my God! I can see them losing this one. I'm like, what?
Somebody's been swimming in the Gatorade of WIP over there, Kyle. Yeah, I'm calling you out, brother. Just kidding. All love. Real quick, before we end the show, I just want to point out. So, according to looking at a bunch of different sports books, the big ones, ESPN, BetMGM, DraftKings, all that stuff. The Phillies right now Eagles are 10.5 wins over under. Over under right now is plus 115, over under 140, minus 140. Anywhere from the 115 to 135 odds on that. Super Bowl winners, they are 16-1. They are tied 5th best odds in the NFL. Okay. NFC conference winner, plus 750, trailing only the Rams at plus 425 in the NFC. And if the Eagles get the NFC conference game, it always seems to be in Philly, and it always seems to be a throttling, might I add. The last few NFC championship games have been, very lopsided and on the Eagles' favor. NFC East division winners, it's 115 to 135. Heavy favorites for the division. Again, that'll be 3 years in a row, might I add, Mike Ularo.
Yes.
And of course, the regular season wins the over.
Listen,
to make the playoffs, it's yes, minus 190, no, plus 155. Implies a 65.5% probability to make the postseason.
It's funny. I saw a Cowboys content creator yesterday. He goes, I'm putting this out right now. This is what's going to happen, right? And it had a picture behind him of Jalen Hurts, and it says eliminate it. And I turned around and I said, brother, I'm an Eagles fan. I said, if that's your take, I can respectfully, hear what you're saying if that's what you think. I said, but that picture is definitely AI generated. And I said, because Jalen Hurts hasn't missed the playoffs. I said, you want to see something that I know ain't going to come true? I sent him back a picture of Dak Prescott holding the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
Because that's never going to happen.
They're both AI generated. And I don't think the Cowboys are going to me and you were discussing their schedule off air coming in. You think the Eagles got it pretty bad? Oh, the Cowboys content creators are out there already. They're the excuse. They think they make my excuse emporium look like a mom and pop shop. I'm just saying they have the Walmarts of excuse emporiums.
Oh man, but listen, I will give it to them. Like I know they got to go. I told them to suck it up. I was like, suck it up, Buttercup. I said we went to Brazil and won the Super Bowl. So I said, I don't want to hear it. I was like, and we had to play a good team down there. We played a playoff team down there. I said, you guys are getting the Ravens. I looked at their schedule. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, they got a brutal, 4-game, again, it's already been kind of out there with the with some of the Cowboys fans bitching and moaning about their schedule. How we can win the division and our schedule's just so. How many years did the Eagles got to be down the bottom of the hardest schedules? How many?
They have the Giants and the Commanders the first 2 weeks. So the Commanders have the Eagles, Cowboys. They have the Giants, Commanders, in the first couple weeks. Then they got to play the Ravens. Then they got to play Texans, and they got to play the Bucks, and they got to play the Packers. Then they got to play the Eagles.
That's a killer.
Their first really I don't want to say game where you could say it was almost a give me for the Cowboys. Is the Cardinals game on November 1st. Wow. And then they play the Colts, then they play the Niners, then they play the Titans, then they play the Cowboys again, or the Eagles again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like they play the Seahawks, and then they play the Rams in LA, by the way, might I add.
I know they're going to get crushed on that one. I don't care what anybody says.
Dave's saying their first bye week is until week 14. That is rough.
It is. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They have. I'm looking at
Seahawks and the Rams game is where their bye week falls in between, so that maybe gives them a little bit of a time to lick their wounds. But yeah, that's rough. Then they play the Jags, the Giants, and the Commanders to end the season. So if they're on the line there, that's gonna, they might not be able to take a day off. Last game of the season's on January 10th. God, so crazy hearing that the last NFL season January 10th.
Listen, you know what's really funny? They play Seattle like week 1 of the preseason, and then they play them again week 13. They're like, look at it's really the next week after they play the Eagles, right? They come back home. That following Monday night, they play at Seattle, and then they go they have their bye. Then after the bye, they're at the Rams. So they literally play. They play the Titans. I'm sorry, they play the 49ers, the Titans, Eagles, Seahawks, bye week, and then the Rams. That's a hell of a gauntlet for the Cowboys. I'm not even going to lie. Like, that's a hell of a gauntlet. Hey, Bruce, how are you, buddy? That's a hell of a gauntlet.
It is. It is. But it's been a hell of a good time, Mike. Me and you have gone well over time today. We enjoy it every last second. I'm glad everybody stuck around with us.
Meal of the day, buddy.
Twitter wasn't working today. I don't know what's going on. So for those Twitter people, I apologize. I have to get that reset. Matty B, instead of coming in and playing music on our show, maybe go reattach the Twitter so we could have played live on that. Mike, you ready for all this? I have them at 6 wins. I'm serious.
You have who at 6 wins?
Dave Arnold has the Cowboys at 6 wins this season.
Oh, all right. He said.
Are you saying a total of 6 victories for the Cowboys this season? Wow. That means the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. Right there. I'm calling it right now. Cowboys Super Bowl. Just because Dave Arnold saying they had 6 wins. That is the most shocking thing you said all day, even over the Aaron Nola stuff, Dave. I have to put that out there.
You have the Cowboys at 6 wins.
Wow.
Oh, man.
You feel what the Phillies will do with Nola. He could be Bruce, I know you're a little late. We kind of went on.
You're a little late about that, man. We covered that in like the first 40 minutes of the show.
Pretty much, we think he's going to have a phantom injury, and he needs to go reinvent himself down in the minors, being more of a finesse contact pitcher. That's kind of if you want to kind of put it into a nutshell. What is up, Mikey B?
Mikey Pat, what's up?
12 to 13. So you're on the same boat as Mikey Laro here. 12 to 13 wins. That's what he.
Yeah, listen, dude. It may be the NFC least this year. I think the Giants are going to take a step back, or take a step forward. I do. I think they have better coaching.
Again, I always push back on this. What's a step forward for them? What is a step forward? 8 wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can get 8-9 wins. They could probably sneak in.
I don't. And I'll tell you why. And this isn't me being a hater or anything. And
You're being a hater.
Jim Harbaugh. He's so much fun. He's so New York. Jackson Dart. We got to see how he plays season 2. Okay. Sophomore slump's the thing. Cam, like I told you, Cam Scatterboo. His brain's the same name as Scatterboo, scatterbrained, because the way he runs, that injury's coming back from. They made some moves on defense. I'm going to give them that. They drafting wise, they did really well. Let's see what they can do with that. I don't know. I think they are kind of where they were at last year. Maybe a game or win or two better. What was the Giants?
5-12, I think they were last year.
Correct.
But I'll tell you what, I think them trading Dexter Lawrence is going to hurt them.
They were 4-13.
4-13.
In essence, Mike, if they were 6-11, that's
better.
a win.
Yeah,
7-10 is better. So take that with what that's worth.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they're going to be better. Thank
you, Bruce. But I like to give you kind of the cliff notes there. So
yeah, we gave you the cliff notes,
guys. Sunday morning's not always easy. Biggest question: will the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year? I think they have a really good chance. I think they have a good chance too. It all depends. Health in the O-line, and how the Sean Mannion, if they can fit into the Sean Mannion experiment early on, like that's going to be the big differences. But the O-line is important.
Speaking of Sean Mannion, did you see his press conference the other day?
Yes, I liked it.
I liked it as well. And
you know what? Very poised.
And here's the thing. He came out and literally said Like everybody talks about, oh, Jalen's scared to throw over the middle. He's scared to throw over the middle. He's scared to do this. The guy literally came out. First thing he said was he can make all the throws. Now I don't know if that's him just
trying
buttering
to
up
them a little bit. Like
yeah.
Listen, we're a team, brother. We're here. I honestly think the reason I like Sean Mannion better, and listen, it's worked better. Former NFL QB. I think that's huge for Jalen. I really do, and I think it's helpful from that standpoint to really
my thing is
understand and be able to talk QB and ease to each other.
Listen, and I also think too, there's a reason why they went out and signed Dameon Pierce too.
Mhm.
Like I think they're going to give Barkley a lot of help this year running the ball.
They said they're running the ball again. They want to get Barkley back to where he was in the year before. I mean, the funny thing is Barkley started over 1,000 yards running this year, despite the fact of the O-line, despite the fact of the offensive struggles. But it's just when you're coming from a 2,500 yards, 1,000 yards, it's a big drop off. It's a big drop off.
It is. And he didn't hit the end zone as much, but I'll tell you what, I want to see what gets done. Like I said, I want to see where this AJ Brown thing's going. You know, I would love for him to get traded to the Chargers. We wouldn't have to worry about seeing him.
Listen, here's my thing is I love the fact that AJ's conversation now, like I said, New England Patriots, there's really nothing. They keep saying there's nothing right now. Everybody thought there was some backdoor conversation. But right now, Kansas City's been in the conversation. San Fran has been in the conversation. I think teams would be very mad at us for trading them to San Francisco. But I honestly don't think San Fran's going to be as good this year as everybody else.
I don't either. And they're about to get rid of Brandon Ayuk. They're about to let him go.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're about to. He's about to be. The 49ers scare me there.
I don't know. I'm not saying they're not. They can be a good team. I don't know how much they scare me. I believe Eagles win the division, but it'll come down to Jalen, who is an RPO QB who has to learn how to throw in his progressions, which isn't in his wheelhouse. Honestly, I think the way this is, it's going to make him be able to make quicker decisions. The Sean Mannion type offense kind of, I don't want to say it's a paint by numbers thing, but it makes the progression easier to make. You don't have to diagnose. You're not waiting for things to come about, and you know where it's going. Like I think that's going to be a plus thing, and I think you're going to see a lot of different movement. You're going to see a lot of different stunting, things like that. I wonder again. It's the O-line for me. It's the O-line. Are they going to give him a second to be able to throw the ball? But it's get the ball out of his hands type offense for them. So that plays well in Jalen's favor.
It does, and the fact that he can, if there is nothing there, he can put the ball down and run too. You know what I mean? Like if he doesn't want to be a quote unquote running quarterback anymore, this is I think a really good offense for him to be in, where he can get rid of the ball quick. And as far as this whole he's scared to throw over the middle thing, obviously you didn't watch him at Oklahoma. Okay, they were not asking him to throw in the middle of the field.
Listen, the numbers, I get why. The numbers, they really don't throw over the middle that much. Again, is it Jalen? Is it the offense they're running? Is it both?
It could be, but to sit there and say
last year I understand a little bit more because until like linebacker depth, that was a little bit of a problem until Phillips got here. And then Campbell really kind of came out hot, then kind of fell off.
Well, he fell off because Nakobe Dean came back, and Nakobe Dean, you couldn't have them both on the.
Well, I'm saying with the defense playing on the offense a little bit. What I mean by that is it's more or less that the pressure on them for scoring was there. They couldn't do it, and they didn't have really good offensive play. Or they didn't have a good offensive scheming, but it keeps coming back to the offensive line for me. Is it the scheming? Did they have to scheme that way? There really wasn't anything special to it. They were still able to get 1,000-yard wide receivers and 1,000-yard running back out of the deal. It's just that health, but this O-line is going to be a little different for me.
Yep.
He's saying his big reason is Dak Prescott's health until week 14.
Yeah, and I was just ready to say that too. Like, doesn't it feel like, there's a lot of um talk about Dallas, as there is every year with them, but to me, I feel like it's a little bit more because of the stuff that they did in the draft. Um, it seems like now, like there's a little bit more pressure, I think, on Prescott to try to get them over the hump. And I'm just wondering, like, I'm not wishing injury, but it seems like something goes wrong with Dak about once every 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the really bad ankle break a couple of years ago. It was his hamstring that kind of knocked him out. Are we looking to see something else with Prescott? I mean, he's in his 10th year, so he's not a young guy anymore.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I mean, kind of the NFC least situation, as Nooms, I think, said earlier. I think it was Nooms.
Yep.
Outside the Eagles, all teams were below 500.
Mm-hmm.
If the Cowboys only win 6 games this year, that's one less than last year, and they tied last year. So if that tie was a loss, they would have been 6-10 last year.
Right.
So
and that's,
it's not a stretch if they don't get better. But again, last year their defense was.
I feel like they got a. Yeah, but I'll tell you what though. Once they got the trade for Quentin Williams and put him at nose tackle, because now you have him and Kenny Clark there, like that's a formidable defensive line. They just don't have edges. They're going to have to use a guy like Overshown, who's their linebacker stud. He was out for most of the year last year. They're going to have to use a guy like him to come off the edge. You know what I mean? They had Javanian Clowney.
Christian Parker get all this together for the Dallas Cowboys? That's a question to be asked too.
Yeah.
Do they have a whole new defensive scheme? Just because the Eagles had a good defense, we've seen it 1,000 times. Vic Fangio, we've had Vic Fangio minions that have done well, but not well enough. It was
Look at the guy.
They finally got him over the hump there.
Yeah, Denard Span. Look at him. Yeah. All right, he was our defensive coordinator, or he was our. He left, went to Tennessee to become defensive coordinator. Everybody thought he should have got the Eagles job. Went to Tennessee, kind of got that defense right. Now he's on the Giants staff. He's their defensive coordinator. So, again, they're going to have to go against not just one former Eagles defensive coach. Now they're going against 2 that are now coordinators. So, big question, Al. What is the meal of the day today for you?
Well, soggy burgers. No, I mean, it was the ultimate plan was to really barbecue today. Just really break out and just start grilling meat after meat after meat after meat. But of course, that just doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm heading to my sister's house. So my meal of the day is I don't know. She's putting me to work. So hopefully she's buying me some steak and lobster.
Nice. We're gonna throw meatballs in the crock pot.
Ooh.
And we're gonna do some meatball sandwiches today.
Now you're talking my language.
Yep, some meatball sandwiches, and sit back, watch the Phillies this afternoon, and
no, not the smoker today. Unfortunately, Nooms. I knew that the weather wasn't going to hold up this week to do anything. I have a brisket that needs to be cooked. It's in the freezer. I defrosted. I got a pork butt. I really want to smoke that butt. Cut that. Yep, I'll give it to you. I'm giving you these clips. But it would have been grill. It would have been grilling chicken. It would have been grilling fish. It would have been grilling beef, dogs. I really wanted to pile the meat, but today it's not playing that way.
This is it's kind of bittersweet for me because my next off holiday, believe it or not, is Labor Day. So unfortunately, the work I do, with the 250th and FIFA coming to
I guess I keep forgetting that.
So I got to work Juneteenth. I'm working July 3rd and July 4th. So it's my next holiday will be the end of summer. So
hopefully I'll be getting my meal in this thing soon. This is the new hat, the new helmet. We got a ton of them now. I thought I had them all.
Oh man!
Nope. All right, guys. For Mike Laro, what a great show we had tonight. Thank you. We went almost 2 hours today, guys. We appreciate you for hanging out with us the whole time. Plenty to talk about at this time. Really looking towards OTAs. See what the Eagles have, see what they're going to do. Of course, by the time we get back here next week, that will be June 31st. So what is that? I mean, May 31st. What does that mean? That means before, 1 day off.
One day before.
Looking a lot of the rumors. We will be diagnosing the rumors.
Yep.
the
See where he's
AJ
going.
Brown. We'll really diagnose that well. We'll see where the Phillies are at after going against the Padres and the Dodgers. They'll be at the end of that Dodger series on Sunday. So we'll have a lot to talk about then. We'll get another Aaron Nola start under our belt, see where we're at then, see if we're in our phantom injury. Probably not much to talk on the Flyers and Sixers. I know we didn't really touch on them too much. We were going to try to touch the Sixers a little bit.
By then, we should have a Stanley Cup final to talk about. New York Knicks 1 win away from reaching the NBA Finals.
Don't.
Hey, listen, you got to give them their due. You got to give them their due. I know you don't like their fans, but that team is playing.
Your team's named after pants, bro. You're the New York short pants. All right, that's what you're. New York capris. Bite my ass. All right, that's what I got to say about the Knicks. All right. Fine. Go to the finals. This is what's going to happen. They're going to go to the finals, and whoever they meet in the finals is just going to blast them. They're going to beat the hell out of them, and then guess what? They're going to come back next year with all these expectations, and they're not going to make the playoffs. There's my prediction for the Knicks.
I got nothing, man. Let's just end the show on that. Delco Lady Outlaws.
14 and under. They will be in Haverford. Game time is at 7 p.m. tonight. It's gonna be a squishy grass, but go Delco Lady Outlaws.
Yes.
All right. 4, 6, 7 seed in the East will make you look great. Yeah. Thank you, Nooms. Thank you. They will get exposed. So other than that, the New York short pants can kiss my ass, and they're douchebag fans. And the only thing else I would want to throw on the grill today would be a New York Knicks, if I could. But other than that, guys, for Mike Laro, I'm Big Al for the Interrap Sports Network. Don't forget the post-game show whenever the Phillies go final. You got Matty B, as well as tonight, the final word with Matty B, which I'm sure he's going to have a lot to talk about us.
Yo,
Mike,
definitely.
you're going to – we should have do a shot thing. Every time he says, well, Mike said – well, Mike. Yep. Every time the name Mike comes up. And
listen, like I said, I laid it out there. And I gave good reasoning for why I gave when and where they're going to lose. Again, he needs to buy a dog, and that's okay. Some of us need that comfort. So I see it for what it is, and they are a 13+ win team this year. With the schedule.
And I want to end this show on a. I know Matty B likes to end the Phillies wins with Harry Decay. I like to end my shows on this priceless, unforgettable, lost, time capsuled video. And guys, have a great Memorial Day rest of your time. For Mike, I'm Al. We'll see you guys next time.
Ready? Just the end. What's Lady and the Tramp?
They share a hot dog just like that. Spaghetti. Right.
It's very romantic, Keith.
It is kind of beefy.
All right.
You know that image is going to live forever. You're never going to be able to live that down, either one of you.
For Keith, he won't be able to live it down. For me, it's a career highlight. Hey, guys.